Okay, here we go. Welcome back to FryMinis. I'm Eric, and today we are talking about Bigby presents Glory of the Giants. And we're talking about backgrounds today, in this particular video anyway. So we've got two backgrounds. Each of them gives you a feat for free, and the book recommends if you are playing in a campaign with these backgrounds, but not these backgrounds. So if your friends pick these and you don't, you pick an acolyte or pirate or whatever. You can pick from skilled or tough. Both good feats. You get some proficiencies or some bonus hit points, solid. Of course, you can always, if your DM's cool with it, homebrew those to do whatever you want. All right, so quick thank you again to Wizards of the Coast for sending us over the code to get this book for free so we can talk about it and share all the goodies with you. If you have requests for what you'd like us to cover here in the future, leave it in the comments, please. With that, let's get started. Giant Foundling. Though you aren't a giant, you grew up among giants. Maybe you are an orphan taken in by a sympathetic family of stone giants who raised you as one of their own, or perhaps you lived in a lost prehistoric pocket of the world, surrounded by giants and fearsome behemoths or hulking dinosaurs. Something about your environment, perhaps the food or water that sustained you, elemental magic inherent in the site of your home, or some verdant blessing of growth placed on you caused you to grow to a remarkable size for your kind. With the aid of this magic, you have learned how to embody the might of giants. You are used to moving through a world much bigger than you, and that is reflected in your skills, attitudes, and perspectives on life. You gain skill proficiencies in intimidation and survival. You learn giant and one other language of your choice. For equipment, you get a backpack, a set of traveler's clothes, a small stone or sprig that reminds you of your home, and a pouch containing 10 gold pieces. Okay, I mean, cool. That's a cool background, right? You fit in with these kind of giants. You are big, not large, but you are big for your kind, so but not mechanically any different size-wise. So if you're, let's say you're a human, and average human is 6 feet tall for D&D, I think, right? So let's say maybe you're 7 feet tall. Stuff like that, where you're tall, but not mechanically tall. Cool. And, these, the skill proficiencies and all that, that's cool. And rules is written. You can change these. So these are nice, and this gives you a good kind of way to get started with the character, but you can change all of that, no problem. Origin stories. How you came to live among colossal creatures is up to you to determine, but the Foundling origin table suggests a variety of possibilities. 1. You were found as a baby by a family of nomadic giants who raised you as one of their own. 2. A family of stone giants rescued you when you fell into a mountain chasm, and you've lived there with them underground ever since. 3. You were lost or abandoned as a child in a jungle that teemed with ravenous dinosaurs. There you found an equally lost frost giant. Together, you survived. 4. Your farm was crushed and your family killed in a battle between warring groups of giants. Racked with guilt over the destruction, a sympathetic giant soldier promised to care for you. 5. After you had a series of strange dreams as a child, your superstitious parents sent you to study with a powerful but aloof storm giant oracle. 6. While playing hide and seek with your friends, you stumbled into the castle of a cloud giant who immediately adopted you. Those are great. I always like a table like this. Our PDFs that we publish on FryMinis.com, a lot of them are for free. We always include things like this, origin stories, cosmetic traits, things like that. Just these little rolling tables that, of course, you don't have to use, but I think they're really helpful to get people started. I like to, I've got a pretty clear frame of reference for what I'd like my character to be. But I know that's not the case with most people probably. So love these kind of tables. And I think this is a particularly good one. Feature, Strike of the Giants. You gain the Strike of the Giants feat, described later in this chapter. Okay, so this feat, I'm not going to go into full depth on it. We have a whole video on feats. Go check that out. This, you get to do extra damage and maybe some special effect, depending on which you do. So you get it and you pick, okay, I'm like blessed by frost giant or blessed by a fire giants. Blessed isn't a mechanical word, just like you have the boon of them or whatever. And if you're the fire giant, you can make an extra 1d10 fire damage on an attack, your proficiency bonus per long rest. It's cool. You know, it's a good little flavor, just like a little when you need to. I like it. It's all right. It's good. Building a giant foundling character. Your life among giants has given you a unique perspective. Though you are uniquely large for your kind, you're no larger than a giant child, so you might be very mindful of your size. Suggested characteristics. The giant foundling personality traits table suggests a variety of traits you might adopt for your character. 1. What I lack in stature compared to giants, I make up for with sheer spite. 2. I insist on being taken seriously as a full-grown adult. Nobody talks down to me. 3. Crowded spaces make me uncomfortable. I'd much rather be in an open field than a bustling tavern. 4. I embrace my shorter stature. It helps me stay unnoticed and underestimated. 5. Every avalanche begins as a single pebble. 6. The world always feels too big, and I'm afraid I'll never find my place in it. Yeah, all right. So, like with our PDFs, personality traits, I think, are absolutely super easy to, as a way, I think they're super easy as a tool to help people kind of get started and maybe you might have a really good idea for most of your character, right? But maybe just like a little piece you need help with. And so these kind of tables are great. This one, you kind of definitely have a height issue, which I think is kind of funny, but whatever. I'm 5'11". Honestly, I'd be okay if I had an extra inch of height and I could say I was 6. I wouldn't mind that, but it's not the end of the world. It's all okay. Okay, and now our second background is Rune Carver. You've dedicated your life to studying rune craft. Whether you were taught by a master rune carver or learned by poring over ancient engravings, you can tap into the supernatural power held within runes. The art of runecraft was initially created by giants, but over time, the practice has been adopted by many peoples. As such, though giant runes are the most commonly used, many rune carvers incorporate symbols from their native languages into the craft. You gain 2 skill proficiencies, history and perception, tool proficiencies with 1 set of artisan's tools, and you learn giant. For equipment, you get a set of artisan's tools of your choice, a small knife, a whetstone, a set of common clothes, and a pouch containing 10 gold pieces. Now, looking strictly at this piece so far compared to the previous, this one's pretty great. Perception is obviously a killer skill. Tools will vary, I think, a lot. So if you don't know, go check out Xanathar's Guide to Everything. There's a whole great section about different tool uses and ways that you can use your tool proficiencies to gain advantage and other effects throughout your game. So check that out. I think every table uses tools a little bit differently, but I love them. And monetarily, the tools are often pretty expensive. They can be, or I think where they're getting revised in the new stuff. But for now, the tools have different values. So getting a free set of tools is a-okay. Rune styles. Each rune carver has a unique style and preferred medium. To determine how you make your runes, you can roll on the rune style table. 1. You inscribe runes in wax or clay with a fine metal needle. 2. You whittle pieces of wood into small figurines you mark with runes. 3. You engrave runes onto glass beads and thread them onto necklaces and bracelets. 4. You stitch runes into hems of clothing. 5. You carve runes on a set of animal bones you can throw in different formations. 6. You draw runes into candles, melting the wax to smooth over the engravings. So yeah, I love this kind of a table, but I'm a little surprised here, like the Rune Knight, you're carving your runes into your sword. Kind of like industrial heavy stuff. And here, all of these are very literally lightweight, like a glass bead or a bone or wax. So I guess, I don't know. It's strange to me to leave out like a rune stone or something as an option, but I don't know. Feature, Rune Shaper. You gain the Rune Shaper feat described later in this chapter. Yeah, so same as the other one. Check out the feat video if you want the full breakdown, but basically you learn a first level spell and you can cast it once per rest, and they're pretty good spells. And you get, as your proficiency bonus goes up, you get to learn more spells. So really cool, nice feat. It doesn't have the like advanced mode where you can take a second feat to really dive in like the other version here, but that's okay. It's cool. Building a Rune Carver character. Scholarly pursuits, ancient mysteries, or fateful encounters might inspire a character to pursue the secrets of a Rune Carver. Suggested characteristics. The Rune Carver personality trait table suggests a variety of traits you might adopt for your character. 1. Is it practical to learn an ancient language that is rarely spoken? No, but is it fun? Very. 2. I learned one of my ancestors was a lauded Rune Carver whose story was lost to time. I seek to rekindle that legacy. 3. The old traditional markings of runecraft look so boring. Why not give my runes some flair? 4. In my studies of runes, I strive to understand how great civilizations of the past fell, so I can prevent it from happening to societies of the present. 5. Life may be a whirlwind of chaos, but whenever I create my runes, I feel at peace. 6. My brain struggles to process words written in ink, but the feeling of carved runes makes my mind sing. Okay, that carving the runes, chaos, world, focus. I don't know why they felt the need to call out all miniature painters and why we paint minis, but I see you. Okay, so overall, Rune Carver background, cool. I like it. You get a good feat. It's got some good flavor to it. But fundamentally, like if we step back, rune carving being just a background feels really, really strange to me. I definitely think somewhere this could have been an entire class, right? I mean, this is such like a major source of like magic and spells and just like a whole vibe across some magical fantasy stuff in general, but also in D&D. So to have what could be like equal to like a wizard or an artificer or whatever collapse down into just a background and 2 subclasses. Well, 1 really, I guess the barbarian doesn't use runes. It just feels weird. It feels really weird to me, and like a strange choice to kind of wall off that whole section just as a background. Yeah, it's just so weird to make all of runes into just one background and 1 little feat that doesn't, like, it's a first level feat. I don't know. You tell me, what do you think? Should runes have been a bigger segment of D&D? I would say yes, but I'd like to hear from you. So let me know in the comments. We'll keep the videos coming. See you later. Thanks. Bye.